Hey y'all, it's Mama Beth, and here I am in the kitchen once again. I've got the dinner dishes all done, everybody's fed and happy, and my husband and the dogs are all in the den. I think they're dozing off before we go up and get in the bed. But I wanted to sit here and talk to you for a little bit. I have not made a video in several days. It's been real busy around this house. And, you know, in my profession, it gets very busy in the holidays. And one of the things that makes it so busy is holiday depression. You call it Seasonal Affective Disorder. There are different terms, but I had to write my notes down because honestly I don't want to forget anything. What we're going to talk about today, things that you can do to prevent seasonal affective disorder and holiday depression. Now, they are considered two different things, and then there's a post-holiday depression. So let's talk about what happens and why it happens, and maybe this year it'll be a little bit easier for you and everyone around you, because I know sometimes it gets so overpowering and you feel like just everything's happening. Your anxiety level is high. You feel guilty if you're not getting everybody just the right gift, and you know, so your finances are strained, and plus it's getting cold. And while children look forward to Christmas, I find that a lot of adults don't. My daughter doesn't, and there's reasons for that. She loved it as a kid. Oh, she loved getting presents and everything, and you know, being the child of divorced parents and then being the first grandchild all the way around and great grandchild. She got a lot of gifts, and everybody made a fuss over her. But as she's gotten older and she's gotten out of college and gone on with her career and making a success of herself, Christmas and Thanksgiving, they are really difficult for her. You know, her father wants her to be there, you know, for this dinner or that dinner or this gathering. I want her always to come with us, but we have to go to see my husband's parents, which I love them dearly. His stepmom and dad are just two of the finest people you would ever want to meet. And so I go there on Thanksgiving, but my daughter has never been because she's usually being drugged from hither to yon, because there's my parents, there's my brother. Now, my family doesn't celebrate all together, they celebrate separately. And then I go to my granny's at Christmas, and you know, so my daughter Madeline, she feels like she's having to hop around. She calls it the Christmas tour, and it's just hard on her. And I know it's hard for a lot of people. I know when she was little, and you know, I had to go to my parents, I had to go to her grandparents, or well, her aunt's house with their cousins on her dad's side. They all gathered there. So we would have to do our thing in the morning for Christmas, or at Thanksgiving we would have to choose one year where we're going to eat Thanksgiving at. And there were some times that we didn't get much more than hors d'oeuvres because we were late, or sometimes we'd have to eat 2 meals, which that never bothered my ex-husband. Anybody knows him knows he can eat. But yeah, it's really hard, and your children are worn out. Now, I only had one. I can't imagine having several, and you know, having to do everything, and then you know, opening presents on Christmas morning, cooking Thanksgiving dinner, cooking Christmas dinner with several children. Honestly, it's so stressful, and I want you to know that we understand. I understand what you're going through, and there are some reasons we're going to talk about and some things that we can do. Okay, holidays and depression. We're going to go through the anxiety and stress facts, what causes the holiday blues, which we've touched on. Is the environment and reduced daylight a factor? What are risks for holiday depression, anxiety and stress? What are symptoms and signs of it? How is holiday anxiety, stress and depression? I feel like I'm I don't know why. How is it diagnosed? What kinds of specialists treat it? Where should you go for help if you're feeling this? And then what is the treatment for holiday depression, anxiety and stress, and possible complications? So let's start off, and of course I've copied that twice because I wrote it down and then I had to switch it over to my notes, because y'all know I'd be lost without my phone. And the notes app, I said if I was back in school, which who knows, one day maybe I'll go get another degree, but if I had an iPhone, I could do everything. I could take all my notes. I can text faster than I can type, and damn sure better than I can write. Okay, let's start out. Holiday depression, anxiety, and stress. Let's go through the facts. The factors are many, including unrealistic expectations, financial pressures, excessive commitments that cause stress and anxiety at holiday time, and certain people may be feeling anxious and depressed around the winter holidays due to what we call seasonal affective disorder. And that comes from where the light changes. You're not getting as much daylight, and it actually affects you chemically. Your serotonin levels change, your dopamine. It has an actual physical effect on you, the change of the light. And that's why daylight savings time, it really doesn't help if you have that, because your day is only going to be as long as dawn to sunset. But anyway, you can have headaches. Some people drink to excess, overeat, have insomnia. And those suffering from any type of holiday anxiety and depression, they can benefit from increased support. To get counseling, join a group, therapy is always beneficial when you're feeling depressed. And sometimes you may be prescribed an antidepressant during this time. And that does help. I've had that myself. In addition to being an important step in preventing the symptoms of seasonal affective disorder, SAD, you need to get out in the sun. Go somewhere that it's sunny. If you're like most of us, and when Christmas comes around, or late in the fall, around Thanksgiving, and you start feeling blue, and you're just not yourself, and you're dragging, that's when it's a great time to go to Florida or somewhere south, somewhere warm where you've got a lot of sunlight, and that will actually recharge you. Also, the lighting, you can Google this. I'm not going to go through all this. The lighting in your home, in your office, you can change that to where you have a better time. You don't have as much depression due to the light. Now, other depressions, a light's not going to help. But if you have seasonal affective disorder, definitely look into getting some light specifically for that, and it'll help. Then you also need to set realistic goals and expectations, reach out to friends, share tasks with family members. If you're one of those moms or dads or aunts or uncles or grandparents that has to do everything and has to be in control of everything, you have to cook the meal, you have to clean the house, you have to do all the laundry yourself, you have to wrap all the presents in addition to buying all the presents. That's too much. Learn to delegate. Share the tasks, because everything can't be on you. If it is, then you're going to end up suffering. And we'd like to see you around. You are important to your family, and your happiness is important to your family. So definitely split those chores up. If you're in the kitchen, get somebody to help you peel potatoes or do whatever you need done. Extra hands make short work, okay? And nobody will think the worst of you because you had them help you devil eggs. The winter holiday season with celebrations, the ones that we talk about are Christmas, Hanukkah, and Thanksgiving. There are others with different religions, and they're all stressful, and they're at a really hard time because you're getting ready to go through the winter solstice, which is the shortest day of the year. Let's see. A lot of times as well, if you've had a death in the family around those holidays, your grief comes back because you're already susceptible to depression with all the stress, the light change. Christmas is some people's hardest time of the year to get through because they've lost loved ones. I see that. I treat people with it. I work in grief counseling. Some, and not all the time. That's not my specialty. But, getting help for your depression therapeutically is the number one thing I can tell you to do. That and cutting your chores. Let's go through this. The sadness. Let's identify what the holiday depression is all about, okay? You have stress, fatigue, unrealistic expectations, over-commercialization. You got to buy this and buy that and decorate this and have this crap in the yard and all that. Financial stress, the inability to be with one's friends and family. If, like, a lot of military families can't come home for Christmas, and it's sad. So that puts a damper on everything and can cause depression. And in addition to sadness, people feel the holidays anxiety or stress, particularly when they feel unable to cope with the demands upon them. If you feel like you can't solve problems that are coming up, you're going to get depressed and have anxiety. And Brian, my wiener's wanting on my lap. But no, you need to get down, booger. You know, it's a reaction that you have, the sadness and the anxiety. And it's not like we can make Christmas disappear. And I don't think we'd want to, or Hanukkah, or Thanksgiving. These are times that we bring families together, or we just celebrate our religion. We celebrate coming together and, you know, in our faith, in our love, in our families. But a lot of people don't have as many advantages as others. Some people don't do the religious aspect of the holiday season. Some people don't have families. But I encourage anyone who doesn't have someone to hang out with at Christmas time, you know, reach out. There are community support groups. There are different activities that are free. You know, whether it's going to, you know, the Christmas tree in the middle of town, whether you're going to watch a Christmas play, or like I love the Nutcracker, of course, and as the old dancer, that's one of my favorite things to do. But also, one of the coolest things we ever did at Christmas was going to see The Nightmare Before Christmas done by the Huntington Orchestra, and they had the voices and the screen, this huge screen up on the stage, but they cut the music out and the orchestra played the music live. Now, that wasn't cheap, but it wasn't so expensive that it was going to break the budget. And then actually flying my daughter up and going to that was one of her part of Christmas. And it was great. It was a way to get together without, you know, having to spend a lot of money or stress like you do. My family gets together at Christmas time, and it's tension. And honest to God, I have to take anxiety medicine before I go around my parents, because they live very differently than I do. I don't like a lot of drama. We don't yell in the house. If we raise our voices, our dogs get upset. But it's very tense at my parents' house. And I love my parents, but this is just a fact. And so it's easier for us if we just go see my dad's mom, and it's peaceful there, and she's always loving, and we can relax, and, you know, we bring my daughter there, and it's just wonderful. But not everybody, like I said, has that. So if you are one of those people, reach out. You know, get on your Facebook or your Twitter and say, hey, I'm in this area, and does anybody want to get together? Even if you just have like cocoa or mulled wine, mulled cider, mulled wine, whatever. You know, if you drink, if you don't drink, whatever. But you can get together with other adults. Some people will be happy to bring their kids and let all the kids play together. And you could go to a restaurant. I remember one year, my cousins and aunts and uncles, and we all got together like Ruby Tuesdays. And it was so much easier. Nobody had to clean a house. Nobody had to wash dishes. And everybody got exactly what they wanted. Okay, what are the risk factors for holiday depression, anxiety, and stress? Having a mood disorder, if you're bipolar, if you have a history of clinical depression or situational depression, you know, that can make you susceptible if you have anxiety. Also, lack of adequate social support systems, and we talked about that. Other factors can include recent trauma, life changes, excessive alcohol intake. We all have that one person who just gets blistering drunk or high as a kite. You know, we all know that person, and they're coping. They're self-medicating. They're trying to relax because obviously they're stressed. They may be an alcoholic or a drug addict as well, but you know, that having someone drink too much around you can be upsetting. And if you drink and you drink to excess, it can make your holidays even worse, because remember, alcohol is a depressant. When you drink, you may feel good for a while, but the next day it's gonna it's going to come back on you. And I don't advise that at all. You know, drink in moderation if you drink. I can't drink at all. But illness, if you have concurrent illness, like there's a lot of people that go into the hospital around Thanksgiving and Christmas and Hanukkah and New Year's. That can really bring you down, that you're not able to celebrate. I remember one Christmas I was in the ICU and I begged my doctor to let me go home for Christmas, and he did, and then I ended up back in the hospital. But he was really sweet. He knew that I needed to be with my child and my husband, and that just makes it really hard. Stressful family situations. If you're tense with your family's tense with you, you know, all of that contributes. And essentially any factor that can cause depression, stress, or anxiety anytime. It just gets worse during the holidays. Now, this video is probably going to run long. Sorry, I'm not known for brevity. What are the symptoms and signs? Let's see. And the areas of the body, your body is actually affected by stress. Your brain and the nerves, your neurological system, muscles and joints. A lot of people notice that not just the cold weather, but the stress especially will give you a flare. Like I get it. I have fibromyalgia and I have rheumatoid arthritis, and along with a bunch of other autoimmune stuff. But I've noticed that I will overdo it in the holidays, and then I pay for it later. Reproductive system can be affected. Intestines, you know, that upset stomach that just won't go away. Pancreas, stomach, heart, you know, it gets you all over. But let's talk about post-holiday stress after New Year's. This can result from spending months. You know how we start, everybody starts shopping in August or September. A lot of people brag that they shop from Christmas to Christmas. Well, you're building up your anticipation and your emotions for all those months, and it lasts one day, maybe two, and then it's over. And then what happens with all that? Happy, just like a balloon burst, just like the dam overflowing. You know, that's really hard. So you need to make sure that when you're getting ready for Christmas, that you're giving yourself some breaks. You know, not everything has to be wrapped perfectly. You don't have to buy for everybody. Buy for the children. But as for the adults, spend some time on them. And honestly, I would rather spend time with the people I love than having present. I tell that to my husband. He doesn't listen. But you can have the tiredness, fatigue, depression, crying spells. If you find yourself breaking down crying, then please go see your doctor. You know, there are a lot of ways to treat it. You go and see either your GP, or they will refer you to your psychiatrist, or if you already have a psychiatrist, go see them. And if you're not on an SSRI or something to help with anxiety, maybe it's time to start. You can do a 6-month course, and that way you're not miserable, everybody else isn't miserable, because they feel sorry for you. Everybody feels sorry for anybody who's sad at Christmas and Thanksgiving. We want our loved ones to be happy. So if you're getting that upset that you're having crying spells and, you know, little freakouts and go see a therapist. Go see your doctor. We're here to help. That's what we do. Okay? And let's see. You can be medical doctors, including your GP, your family medicine and internist, psychiatrists, and then other healthcare professionals like psychologists, or just a group counsel setting. You can find a lot of those. That will really help. You need to decompress. Breathe. Okay? The world's not going to end if you don't get that certain Tickle Me Elmo. God, I remember the Tickle Me Elmos and the Furbies, and everybody was racing for it. And, you know, there are movies made about how crazy it is at the holidays and how people drive themselves, you know, over the edge because they think they're not good enough. They think they're not doing enough. You know, step back, take a breath, take care of yourself, because you're more important than any present. Okay? And I think I've covered everything on here that I wanted to go through. Let me make sure, because I don't want to skip anything. Just be realistic. realistic about your goals for the holidays. Set realistic expectations. And remember, love counts for more than any gift. Now, I'm going to turn this off. This has gone to 20 minutes, and I'm trying to stay right at the 20-minute mark. No more 50-minute get ready with me, so that was ridiculous. I'm sorry. I take forever to put my makeup on and do my hair. But anyway, I hope that this has helped. And if you know someone who is going through this situation, that they have anxiety at Thanksgiving and Hanukkah and Christmas and New Year's, you know, share this video. Now, before I go, I have a new Facebook page. It's MamaBethsWorld. It's capital M, excuse me, and everything else is lowercase. Go to Facebook and find me. And definitely go down below, click subscribe, hit that notification bell, and give me a like. And even if you don't want to give me a like, you know, if this is too depressing to talk about, you know, give me a thumbs down. I don't care. And leave me comments. Tell me what you think. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. My Twitter's always open. And you'll find all my information down below. Now, I love you. You love you. Bye.